this back to Faith and Place, who I just looked at our website. When I was there, when I did my research there, which ended in about 2008, there are maybe 5 people on staff. Every time I look at their website, they have more people. There's they're doing really, really well. And they've done, they've built an extraordinarily diverse community that's involved with environmental issues now through them. And they do that by engaging in conversations that are relevant to different communities. And all of this diversifying there began with Veronica Kyle, who was hired to do African American outreach, and now she's the statewide outreach director. But she started out in African American communities having conversations to find out what's important to them. And when she started there, food and jobs were the 2 big things that were on people's minds. So she did programming, with green jobs and building gardens and, sustainable agriculture that's healthy, right? So she did these conversations in ways, she didn't come in there and say like, climate change, we got to do something about it. What are you doing, right? She came in and had conversations, learning what's interesting to you, what's important to you, and finding ways to connect those. And so, yeah, I think kind of listening to where people are, asking questions and making those connections. And interestingly, we know climate change is a very divisive issue. In my research with Catholics, I'm finding that they're on board. Well, a lot of politically conservative Catholics are on board with everything until you get to climate change, and it's just even using that word, right? So it's like they're willing to do all the things that you might be looking for them to do, but if you talk about it with climate change in mind, that's a problem. And I'll just say one more thing is I've been looking at a Laudato Si roundtable that was run by the US CCB last May. But anyway, there was a Spanish language conversation and an English language conversation. And so I've been looking at the way that they're talking about these issues. Interestingly, in the English language conversation, they talked about climate change 22 times in 1 hour. And in Spanish, I think it came up once. And yet, they're talking about a lot of these similar issues that have similar outcomes, but they're not using the word climate change. So I think taking the word climate change in is immediately cutting off conversations in ways that talking about issues without bringing in that word doesn't.